Now from Times Square, here's what you need to know.
And good afternoon and happy hump day, everybody, and welcome to What You Need to Know on this Wednesday. It is always good to have you with us.
Yes, and Dr. Jen Ashton is back with us. We missed you yesterday.
Thank you. I missed you too.
And we have to give a round of applause for our GMA3 team winning a Gracie Award for our Trailblazing Women Series. Congratulations to ABC business reporter Alexis Christoforous and producer Elizabeth Harrison. You see them there in the picture. And to all the women from ABC News who won awards last night. Look at that team.
That is so cool and so well deserved.
Yeah, we're a great squad.
All right, let's talk medical news with another trailblazer, America's favorite doctor there, Dr. Jen. So there's a study out of Canada that's taking a look at the increase in ER visits over the past couple of years when it comes to adults using cannabis. What do we need to know?
And specifically, DeMarco, older adults. So this is a little bit of a who, what, where, when, why, and how for cannabis use. Let me take you through it. It was published in the Journal of the American Medical Association. They looked at about a 2-year period from 2018 to 2020. Emergency room visits tripling for adults 65 years of age and older. And when you looked a deeper dive into this subset, this patient population, 38% of them were patients with cancer, 16% of them also had alcohol intoxication, and 6.5% had dementia. When you look at the possible why here, accidental ingestion, lack of effective pain or sleep management could be leading them to take cannabis products. And then risk factors, obviously in this group of patients, drug-drug interactions is significant, and then they do metabolize any drug differently. THC is no exception. So I think when we look at cannabis use, we have to understand that a lot of the results, a lot of the end results can be very erratic. And when you look at an older population, that is a big deal.
Especially when you're on other medications.
Which so many people are.
Is there a conversation to be had with these people and their doctors where there's no judgment? I mean, I think that's the thing people are so afraid of.
You said it. It has to be judgment-free, and not just their healthcare provider, but their inner caregiving circle as well, because a lot of people think if it's natural, it's safe, and they want relief from a lot of these conditions, which are increased in elderly people. So again, awareness, conversation, no judgment, really important.
All right, Doc, thank you.
Yep. We turn now to ABC's Jay O'Brien in Washington with our latest headlines. Good afternoon to you, Jay.
Eva, my friend, good afternoon. And we begin with former President Trump's comments on possibly restricting access to contraception gaining attention. Asked in an interview whether he supports restrictions on birth control, Trump said it's something he's looking at. Hours later, backtracking, reversing those comments in a social media post, Trump saying he, quote, will never advocate imposing restrictions on birth control. And we're learning more about that deadly turbulence aboard a London flight to Singapore. One person killed, at least 100 passengers hurt, 20 hospitalizations in the ICU. The NTSB on its way to Bangkok to look into the matter. The CEO of Singapore Airlines says they are cooperating with the investigation. And we turn now to our Sam Champion tracking the weather from on board an aircraft carrier celebrating New York's Fleet Week.
Hi, guys, from the deck of the USS Baton. Let's get you caught up on the storms that happened yesterday. So more than 300 storm reports. And if you look at the graphics, you can see them broken down into tornadoes, into hail reports, and some of that was softball-sized hail, and wind reports. That is a very damaging line of storms. Today, that line sinks a little bit down to the south. But look at it stretch from the deep south all the way up into New York State. So sure, in the orange zone, that's where some of the worst storms will kick up today, including another chance for a tornado or two. But there could be some strong storms all the way up into New England. And on your travel day, we stay in the heartland for the opportunity of more storms to develop.
Speaking of travel, if you're getting ready to hit the road for Memorial Day weekend, AAA reports you've got company. Nearly 39 million people, the highest number since tracking began in the year 2000. Experts say leaving early Thursday and Friday and avoiding the morning commute is the best bet, and avoid afternoon travel Sunday and Monday. And beginning this weekend, you can get your hands on one of these. Caitlin Clark becomes the only athlete since superstar Michael Jordan to get her own signature Wilson basketball collection. She is the only female to have a signature ball. And an overtime thriller in Boston last night. The Celtics beat the Pacers in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Donnie Wahlberg and Big Papi on the sidelines cheering them on. The Western Conference Finals between the Timberwolves and the Mavs are tipping off tonight, guys.
Oh, what a game, what a game. But back to Caitlin Clark. Bravo.
That's very cool.
Making history. All right, Jay, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Still ahead on this Wednesday on GMA3, both the prosecution and the defense rest in the unprecedented case against former President Trump. Our team with the latest on what you need to know as the case gets ready to go to the jury.
Plus, we are tracking dancer and TikTok sensation Kim Hale on her second act all the way to the Broadway stage.
Nice. Welcome back to GMA3. Both sides have rested in former President Donald Trump's hush money trial.
Closing arguments are set for next week, and then the case will be in the hands of the jury. Joining us now is senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky and chief legal analyst Dan Abrams. Dan, let's start with you. Okay, there have been 20 witnesses over 4 weeks. Trump did not take the stand. What do you think of this strategy from the defense?
There was no way he was going to take the stand, right? It wasn't even a strategy. Donald Trump claimed at the beginning, oh, yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm likely to do it. There was no way he was going to take the witness stand. I said this on GMA at the time. And so now there's no surprise that he's not. Why couldn't he take the stand? Because the best argument the defense has is they haven't proven their case. They don't want to make this case about, is Donald Trump telling the truth, right? They want to make this case about, has the prosecution proven its case beyond a reasonable doubt? The minute Donald Trump takes the witness stand, the case becomes about, do you believe Donald Trump? That is not what the defense wants here. So, the defense's strategy has been cross-examination, challenge the witnesses, challenge their credibility, make the jury have questions. When you have the standard that you have to prove the case, that's the best argument for the defense in a case like this.
Aaron, let's talk about that drama in the defense case. Let's talk about witness Robert Costello as well. He was rebuked by the judge, but back on the stand yesterday.
He was the only substantive witness called by the defense, and almost immediately in his testimony, he starts getting into it with the judge by speaking after objections were sustained, exhaling, or saying, geez. And the judge ended up telling him about decorum, said, you can't roll your eyes, you can't give me side eye. And then when he glared at the judge, are you staring me down right now? He cleared the courtroom, ushered all of us out. We were all sort of stunned. And then during that pause, he ended up saying, you're contemptuous. But it all seemed to calm down, and Costello really was there to help get at the credibility, or lack thereof, as the defense sees it, of Michael Cohen, who was the star witness for the prosecution.
All right, then we have to talk about Michael Cohen, Michael Cohen, the former fixer for Trump. What did you think of his testimony?
Well, look, there's no doubt that he has major credibility problems, right? He is both a critical piece for the prosecution and a critical argument for the defense. I've described it before as he's an off-ramp. If there are people on the jury who want to not convict, Michael Cohen's a great argument to make. Now, prosecutors would say, wait a sec, we don't even need Michael Cohen per se. We've got backup for just about everything he's saying. And when it comes to the fundamental question of a payoff, and the purpose being to try to protect himself leading up to the election, we can prove that even beyond Michael Cohen. So it just depends on how you look at the case, right? It kind of went as expected, meaning he was kind of a disaster, and yet he offered the prosecutors what they needed in terms of the final link and saying that he was there in the conversations, et cetera. And that's why it's going to be so interesting for me to see what these jurors say. Do they say, in the end, I couldn't convict because of Michael Cohen? Or do they say, I'm deciding to convict despite Michael Cohen?
And Aaron, with that said, closing arguments are set for next week. What's the game plan for both sides?
The jury saw nearly 300 pieces of evidence. They heard testimony from 22 witnesses. The defense said none of it means that former President Trump committed a crime. And the prosecutors are going to say it all adds up to what they've called election fraud, pure and simple. The jury heard a lot of testimony about sex and money, and the case isn't about either of those things. It's an accounting case. It's about 34 documents, checks, ledger entries, and invoices. The jury saw all of them. Prosecutors say they were all falsified in order to preserve Trump's election chances in 2016.
The question's going to be, are prosecutors able to get the jurors to look at the case through that very narrow prism, right? That's what prosecutors want here. They want the jurors to look at this as a very technical case, right? It's about documents in the end. It's about, why was he doing this? The defense wants them to look bigger picture and say, wait a second. why do you think this is being brought? And they want them to think about things that you're not even allowed to argue in court. Like, why is the former president here over this silly case? Those are the sorts of things that the defense is hoping for. The prosecution wants to narrow it as much as possible.
And they say that protecting yourself in an election isn't a crime.
Yeah.
That's the crime.
I mean, this is a former president. So what kind of legal precedent does this set?
Look, I don't know that it sets a legal precedent. I think it actually is going to become more of a kind of political-ish precedent. You're going to see people use this as a political cudgel. Donald Trump's team would say that they believe that this has probably helped him in the end. Of all the cases that Donald Trump is facing, there is no doubt this is the smallest and probably the weakest. And so this was the best one politically for Donald Trump to come forward now. It's an easy one for all of his allies to come out there and say, this is a case that never should have been brought. That's a different question from, was there a technical violation, right? Two separate questions. Should the case have been brought at all? And okay, now that it's been brought, is there enough evidence to get you over the hump of that technical violation that we've been discussing?
All eyes are watching, and we'll be watching next week as well. Gentlemen, thank you.
All right.
And coming up here next, just ahead, making all the right moves to pursue her dreams.
We're talking about dancer and social media sensation Kim Hale. You met her right here on GMA3 a couple of weeks ago. And look at her now, taking a bow on Broadway, a story you don't want to miss. Come on back.
Hey, I'm Andy Mitchell, a New York Times bestselling author.
And I'm Sabrina Kohlberg, a morning television producer. We're moms of toddlers and best friends of 20 years.
And we both love to talk about being parents, yes, but also pop culture.
So we're combining our two interests by talking to celebrities, writers, and fellow scholars of TV and movies.
Cinema, really.
About what we all can learn from the fictional moms we love to watch.
From ABC Audio and Good Morning America, Pop Culture Moms is out now wherever you listen to podcasts.
Relax and indulge in the spectacular surroundings of the K Club's 550-acre estate in Kildare, just half an hour from Dublin. Our supper club experience, including B&B, dinner in the Palmer restaurant, and a bottle of the K Club's exclusive vintage wine, is now available from just €295 per night until March 15th. Book your next breakaway at the K Club, where it's always time to play. Visit kclub.ie.
We got two friends from Broadway, Robin Herder and Mikey Serrato. Please come out.
Robin Herder's here.
Look at this. Surprise!
Hi, Kim. We're so inspired by your story. We are obviously in the cast of Chicago the Musical on Broadway. And I want you to put on your dancing shoes.
You know why? You're going to make me emotional. We want to invite you to come perform with us for one night only at the Ambassador Theater.
Welcome back. That was a clip from our second act series, surprising GMA3 viewer and aspiring dancer Kim Hale with a dream, decades in the making, a chance to perform on Broadway.
And what a moment that was, and what a great moment. And just last week, Hale took the next step in her journey, appearing in the Broadway production of Chicago the Musical. We were right there for that big night. It was time for Kim Hale's star to shine even brighter. Hale stepping into her big moment, beginning the day with a greeting from Chicago's own Roxy Hart.
Hello! It's so great to meet you. I love all of this stuff.
Next up, the costume fitting.
Ready to go.
Got perfect hair.
The hair.
I've got lip color for you.
The makeup.
Kind of roll into it.
And the tip of the hat.
You're gonna walk right out.
Before practicing the opening monologue.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Then on to rehearsing the dance.
You're working with a star.
And 1, 2, 3, 4.
And polishing the moves to get them just right.
So flashing it, and the reaction will be passionate.
And just like that, it's showtime.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are about to see a story of murder, greed, corruption, violence, exploitation, adultery, and treachery. All those things we hold near and dear to our hearts. Thank you.
Later, Hale doing what she does best, stepping out in the musical's signature number, Razzle Dazzle.
You're working with a star, the biggest. Give 'em the old razzle dazzle, razzle dazzle 'em. Give 'em an act with lots of flash in it, and the reaction will be passionate.
This is one for the books, but not before a rousing curtain call,
Kim Hale!
And an outpouring of love. Our GMA3 family, what a great performance there, and our many thanks to Kim Hale and to Broadway Chicago, the musical, for allowing us to bring them together for this experience of a lifetime, something she will never forget.
Yes, such a cool moment. Up next here, Sunscreen 101. Dr. Jen's got some tips on keeping you and your family safe in the sun this summer.
And later, memorable moments from the set of this ABC hit Station 19, and our surprise for star Boris Kojo, who is in the house. Come on back.
We are talking weight loss drugs and teens, Dr. Jen.
So a really interesting study just published in the Journal of the American Medical Association looks at this class, semaglutide, the GLP-1s, Mounjaro, Ozempic, Wegovy, used in teenagers, adolescents. Semaglutide is actually FDA approved for weight loss in teens with obesity starting at age 12 years of age and up. However, unlike with adults, we don't have long-term data on its use for weight loss in this population. So this is a perfect example of something we talk about all the time. When you make a decision in medicine, you have to ask 4 questions. What are the risks of doing it? What are the risks of not doing it? And you know, when you're talking about a teenager who may be 300 pounds at age 14, you know where that train is going. So there are significant risks with not treating it. And then benefits. What are the benefits of using the drug? What are the benefits of not using the drug? And we desperately need the long-term data in this age group. We have a saying in medicine, children are not little adults. So just because they may be the size of an adult doesn't mean they're equivalent. And we really need the 10, 20-year data, which we don't have yet.
So what is your advice for parents who have teens who are struggling with obesity?
I think we have to remember that the conditions of overweight and obesity, even in teenagers, are complex, chronic conditions, and you want to intervene sooner rather than later, but it's a complex problem. So you want to get the advice of psychologists, endocrinologists, nutritionists, if possible, along with your pediatrician, and try to find healthcare providers who are specialized in obesity medicine. What you don't want to do is do nothing and hope that it goes away, because it's probably not going to.
All right, Doc, thank you. We're back in a moment. Stay with us.
Dr. Jen Ashton is here answering one of your medical questions. Here it is. How does the location of my uterine fibroid impact my symptoms and treatment options? That's from Sarah Kay.
I could talk about this for hours. And by the way, 80% of women have fibroids. These are benign tumors in the muscle in the uterus. Just like the saying goes in real estate, in fibroids, location, location, location. Not all fibroids require treatment, and not all fibroids produce symptoms. So you want to ask, if you're told you have fibroids, you want to ask, where are they located? Are they inside the uterine cavity like an avocado pit, or are they outside? The ones that are outside can get really large, but they're not probably going to give you significant symptoms. And you want to ask the size and where in the uterus that it's located. So a tiny 1 centimeter fibroid most likely will not require any treatment. If the fibroid grows to this size, that's going to give you some symptoms and require treatment. And then in terms of the treatment, there are hormonal treatments, there are surgical treatments, and there's a non-surgical option that a lot of gynecologists unfortunately don't talk to their patients about, which is embolization. done by interventional radiologists. So I have a whole section on fibroids in my magazine, but it's so common, more common with black women as well.
Make sure you pick up a copy there. What's your prescription for wellness?
Okay, has to do with sunscreen, the basics, because we are obviously in the season, but some people in parts of the country are in that season of sunscreen every single day, and I would argue that should be anyone, regardless of where they live. You want to look for a sunscreen with an SPF of 30, broad spectrum, at least 30. If you want to go higher, that's fine as well. You want to apply 15 minutes before going outside. We put our sunscreen on every single morning before we leave, right, DeMarco?
Yes, ma'am.
And you want to use enough. This is the biggest mistake that people make. They don't use enough. You want to fill a shot glass. That's basically 1 ounce for your entire body, and then reapply every 2 hours. I actually keep some sunscreen in my handbag, and I use it on my face, neck, and hands multiple times a day.
Same.
It may be too late for me, but it's not too late for a lot of people. And again, regardless of your skin color.
And
really
reapply every 2 hours is
That's
so
correct.
important, because a lot of people don't put it on in the mornings and then they're like,
And
we're
it's
good.
easy to forget, but we need it.
All right, we're listening. Thank you very much. And folks, we would love to hear from you. So hit us up on Instagram with all of your medical questions for Dr. Jen at ABC GMA3. Up next on GMA3, the possible life-saving moves are Matt Gutman with what you need to do quickly to escape a submerged car.
And it's deals and steals for $20 or less. Tori Johnson is here. We're going shopping, y'all.
We've got the exclusive view behind the table. Every day, right after the show, while the topics are still hot, the ladies go deeper into the moments that make the View the View. The Views Behind the Table podcast. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
People who disappear without a trace.
Where is she?
The most notorious murder cases in New York.
Pure evil.
And the most devious killers.
There's a Hannibal Lecter feel to him.
For chilling true crime stories, follow the True Crime NYC podcast wherever you listen.
We're about to put this into practice. Gordon, you ready?
Ready to go.
Dave, you ready? Okay, we're going to hit it. We're going to try to hit about 25 miles an hour before we hit that ramp. Hopefully, I hit it right. There we go. And here we go. Hold on. Okay, so, I mean, it's a pretty terrifying thing for this to happen. The first thing you want to do, take the seatbelts off and try to make sure that window goes down. But you have to remember, they have a few seconds. So the one thing I do not want folks to do at home is to reach for your phone. It could take up to 15 minutes for rescuers to get to you. This is going to have to be about a self-rescue. Folks are going to have to get themselves out. What you're going to want to do is climb up onto the roof of the car. And once you're up here, it'll give you a bit of time to regroup.
Wow, that is terrifying to watch there. Welcome back to GMA3. That was a clip from GMA this morning where ABC Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman demonstrated a potentially life-saving tactic to escape from a sinking car.
It's a situation no one wants to find themselves in, but if you do, Matt Gutman joins us now with what you need to know. Matt, you are a crazy man. I mean, this is crazy when it happens to someone. You just walked us through it. What is the very first thing that you say people need to do if they find themselves in water like this?
I mean, basically, we're trying to create the stop, drop, and roll for vehicle submersion, right? And that's why we keep repeating the same mantra, Eva, which is seatbelt, window, out, children go first, and try to hammer that home because it is terrifying in the moment. Like, I've done it 4 times. I've done it into ice and then here a couple times, and it's scary and people can panic. And so when you panic, it's much easier to think about just a couple of simple things. Seatbelt, window, out. That's all we want people to focus on. And that is what the experts unanimously say is the best way to get yourself out of a situation like this, because you're not going to be rescued. This has to be a self-rescue, Eva.
And Matt, in a world where cell phones rule, I would automatically think to dial 911, but you say that's not the best thing to do.
Yeah. No, this could get you in real trouble. Gordon Giesbrecht, our expert, said that the cell phone could kill you. It could take up to 15 minutes for search and rescue to get to you. And that's just not enough time. I mean, you saw in that demo, this car went down in about 60 seconds, DeMarco. So you don't have that much time. You got to focus on getting yourself out, even though our first inclination is, oh my God, I just crashed. I need help. Let me call someone. but that's the wrong thing to do, unfortunately, DeMarco.
These days, there's so many cool sensors and technology in cars to help you. There's no sensors yet for when you hit water, right? So is that something that we could see in the future?
There is a company that's working on it. It's called AWOS Technologies, AWOS. And basically what they're working on, and this is supported by the Automotive Safety Council, is some sort of sensor, as you just mentioned, Eva, beneath the car that would automatically roll the windows down as soon as it detects that the car is submerged. And that would take the human factor out of it. So we wouldn't have to think, okay, seatbelt window out. All you would have to do is, oh, that's a sign I need to get out of the car, and people would climb out. The thing is, it's probably a couple of years away from the market, but with hundreds of people dying every year in submerged vehicles in the United States, something like that could be a lifesaver, Eva.
What about those window breaking tools? I've never seen anyone with them, but do they work?
Yeah, I know. Well, that's exactly it, DeMarco. They do work, especially on older windows like this. This is tempered glass. And we shattered the back here yesterday for practice. But a lot of newer cars will have laminated glass. It's much harder to punch through. And the other thing is, where did I put the thing? You know, is it in the center console? Is it in the glove compartment? Is it in my pocket? Most people don't have the time to fumble around and start looking for it. So that's why the experts advise just get out of the car, leave it. The electricity will work for probably 60 seconds. It still works right now, by the way. So you do have more time than you think. You just have to focus on getting the seatbelt off, rolling down the window, and getting out of that car, and you can just leave it there. DeMarco.
All right, Matt Gutman, thank you so much for joining us today. Good advice. And just ahead here on GMA3, we are stretching your dollar. It's time for Deals and Steals.
Gotta stretch it. All you need is $20, everyone. And that's all it takes for these Deals and Steals today. And Tori is here with more when we come back. All right, welcome back. It is one of our favorite times of the week, Deals and Steals. And Tori Johnson, our favorite, is here with savings on great products that won't break the bank. That's the important thing.
Yeah, everything you see here is under $20. We love that. And if you're impatient like me, you can go ahead and start your shopping right now. Just point that cell phone camera to the QR code right there on your screen. You can start saving.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to treat yourself. So we've got a lot of options here. This is the Tick Mitt. Dr. Jen introduced me to this company, and it's one of the easiest ways to protect yourself and your pets after you've been outdoors. You'd put that on, and you can pat down skin, clothing, fur on an animal. You collect the ticks right onto that mitt. Then you will pop it into this mesh bag, put it in the dryer on high heat for 10 minutes, kills the ticks.
Before you take it off, put it in and take it.
You put it right into there. Exactly. As you take it off, you would put it right into there. And the more that you can protect yourself, your kids, this is obviously something you can use on children, any age, obviously, and your pets from tick-borne illnesses. Obviously, the healthier we all are, and it's an easy way to add this to your kind of arsenal of tick protection. These today are $10.
Yeah, we're all outside this time of year.
Exactly.
What's up next?
This is Locker Lifestyle, so it's super cool. So take this right here. You, Mr. Biker, could just put that right onto your wrist, and if you need to have a pocket,
you could put my wallet,
you could put your cash, your wallet, anything right in there. And it's there you go. There's you running. Right inside there, you've got a little pocket that holds a lot of stuff, as you see from our examples here. Phone, you could put glasses. It's a very stretchy pocket.
Well, it fits a whole iPhone.
It could put, exactly, because of that stretch. So it's not just a teeny little space that's in there. We have a neck gaiter version as well, but the wrist one is really what they're known for. These are slashed in half starting at $10.50.
I'll take 3 colors. I love this.
It's a good one. Yeah. Okay, speaking of zippered pockets, this is Pocket Socks. Created by somebody who was pickpocketed on a trip. His wallet was taken from his back pocket, and he said, there's got to be a better way to stash my stuff securely.
Wow.
So he created a sock that has that zippered compartment. They even make a large size that can hold a passport, but a little cash, keys, a credit card, ID, something that you don't want to be taken from you. We also have their new compression line, options for both leaner legs as well as wide calves. Big selection that you'll find online, all slashed at least in half, starting at $8.
I love this.
It's so smart.
You need this.
Yes. DeMarco.
I actually was using this on my little one because she's had like a really bad cold.
Okay, there you go. So this is Boom Boom. You can put it right inside your nose, right there just right there at the tip, and you take like a nice inhale. And it's not just though when you're sick. Sometimes it could be you just need a little pick me up. You've got, I think, wintergreen, and there's a mint one there. We also have lavender, tropical, and it's again not just when you're sick. Made in America. It's an essential oil formula specifically for the nasal passage. I've quite frankly seen Uber drivers use this, and I was like, what is that? I was like a little nervous at first, and then when they showed it to me and I looked it up, I was like, that makes perfect sense. And again, for little ones too. But
this is cool.
You're sold.
This is going to my pocket right
now. There you go. We've got 3 and 4 packs to choose from. These start at $10.
Nice.
Yes, great ones. This is hydro aromatherapy, the easiest way to turn your bath into a spa experience. So you would take the shower burst right there, put it into the little sachet that it comes with. You could smell that one. I think that might be an orange, a citrusy one. So whether you want a scent that's going to help you wind down after a difficult day or help you pep up in the morning to start the day, or he likes that one too. The scents are really fabulous. It's all essential oils. It's another product that's made in America. It's just a great one because it's the steam from the shower that's going to have that whole scent kind of fill your bathroom, so you feel and smell like you're in a spa, but you're right at home. And we've got from them also their essential oil roll-ons. These are fabulous too. Everything from hydro aromatherapy slash in half. These start at $3.50 plus free shipping.
Look how I'm shopping for you. I'm like, DeMarco.
I know. She's like,
You're pointing it out. Exactly. You're pointing it out. Asha Pop. So, DeMarco, I was excited. You know this line.
For years.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, this is a plant-based superfood snack. The entire bag, 120 calories. So you get a lot of snack for your calories on this one. It's a seed, the Indian water lily plant seed, and it's like a puff. Chili is was that what you were saying?
Chili.
You guys were saying chilies.
It's actually not that spicy.
It's not that spicy, and it's kind of a combination like popcorn crunch, but puff. Like how
you feel good afterwards.
Yeah. It's got like a kick. This one has like a barbecue-y kind of kick to it.
A little
kick. It's not really chili, like hot like you would think in your head.
Exactly. Not hot. We've got 4 different varieties. They've put together these really great bundles. So if you're looking for a new snack and you want to be healthy like DeMarco, this one's for you. 50% off starting at $11.
No guilt if you eat the whole bag.
Exactly.
Big story. And we, of course, have partnered with these small businesses for all these deals. To shop, scan that QR code right there on your screen or visit our website.
We love our Tori. Always good to see you, my friend. When we come back, he's a familiar face on the ABC hit station 19.
But Boris Kodjoe got a turn behind the camera. He's here to tell us about his directing debut on the show when we come back.
Married moms in the suburbs. They've been called soccer moms. They've been called security moms.
Pamela Wilk is a so-called soccer mom.
Those so-called Walmart moms.
She calls herself a hockey mom.
I love those hockey moms.
The hockey mom trying to connect with the soccer moms.
In the 1990s, the idea of soccer moms as the quintessential swing voter took hold. Elections could be won or lost based on a candidate's ability to appeal to them. But were quote-unquote soccer moms actually the deciding factor? In a new series on the 538 Politics podcast, we take a look back at conventional wisdom from past elections with a critical lens. Where did that wisdom come from, and does it hold up today? Find the Campaign Throwback series in the 538 Politics feed wherever you get your podcasts.
Go from shopping in Aldi's frozen food aisle to chilling at Electric Picnic. Because Aldi is giving away Electric Picnic tickets and €2,000 in gift cards every single week. Spend over €25 in-store and upload your receipt on aldifest.ie to enter. Then you could go from your local store to the Electric Picnic dance floor. Republic of Ireland and 18 plus only. Ends August 4th. Excludes alcohol, prizes and full T's and C's at aldifest.ie.
2 vets came in the other day, both unhoused, an old guy and a kid. 2 different wars, both homeless. How are we not taking care of our people, huh? So I'm trying to get some housing help, but the VA, these government sites, God.
Do you know where they're living now? Because once you lose them.
At the turn off of 11th, right by the park there.
Good. I mean, not good, but it's one of the safer encampments.
All right, welcome back to GMA3. That was a clip from the 7th and final season of Station 19.
And with us now to talk about the end of this era is actor and director Boris Kodjoe.
Hey. Boris Kodjoe in the house. And clean as always.
This season, you were both in front of and behind
Yes.
the camera. And you have a special nickname because of that?
Oh, come on. Really?
We do our research.
Wow. Yes, they called me the Germinator.
The Germinator?
The Germinator. And not because of germs, but because I'm from Germany.
Not because of germs.
Just want to clarify that. Yeah, so I had I had my strategy on how to move around the set, and I was very prepared, and I had my ideas, and I knew what I needed for the cut, and so I kind of moved pretty quickly.
And it worked for you.
Yes, it did.
So Robert Sullivan, that's the longest running character that you've ever played.
Yeah.
What's it like to say goodbye?
It's great. I mean, this was an amazing opportunity for me. I made some incredible friends. This is like a second family for me. I love all of those people that I work with. It was truly a blessing. And to be able to do that for 7 years in this business is really rare. So I'm very much aware of how blessed I am.
But it's great for you, but not great for us.
Well, you can watch the old episodes. We got plenty of them. We got 105 of them.
And I'm sure there'll be other exciting projects, right?
Exactly.
We just have to seek
Look,
them
when you're
out.
on a show like that for such a long time, I was shooting 9-10 months a year. So I never really had any time to do anything else, which is okay. But now I feel like this is a new chapter in my life, in my career, and I'm able to take advantage of some of the opportunities that I wasn't before, and it's actually very exciting.
Nice.
So I have to ask you some personal questions, but having to do with the number 19 also. You're about to celebrate 19 years of marriage.
That's right.
And you have 2 children, one's in college.
Yeah.
We were talking about being a parent first. What is your secret to long-standing relationship success? 19 years is impressive.
Wow.
And we were talking about your kids.
Yeah.
I mean, how are they? Are you getting into it with the attitude, or you're past that stage?
Boris is like, that's a whole nother show.
Listen, okay, well, let's start with 19 first. Like, yes, yesterday was our 19th wedding anniversary.
Congrats.
Which
Congrats.
is amazing. I love it. And the secret is, to me, this is just my personal opinion, the secret is we just don't give up. We just decide not to give up, right? Because stuff happens, there's challenges, adversity. I think what people do when they say their vows, they tend to focus on the for better part and not the for worse part, right? But if you go in knowing that both will come and you're okay with it and you are ready to grow through those times of adversity and give each other the space to grow and to learn and to make mistakes, and when you crawl through that mud and you come out on the other side, you realize that it's pretty fantastic. And especially when you make that commitment to your person, the person that you love, the person you want to be with forever. Sometimes when challenges appear, people run for the hills. And we just decided to dig in. And I think that's why we're at 19 right now.
But was it more challenging? I mean, both of you guys are stars, being in the public eye. Critics everywhere.
I'm saying there's always challenges, right? And I tend to always look at the blessings that come with, you say we're both stars, there's notoriety, there's a certain amount of fame. Everything has a price, right? And if you approach it with a positive attitude and you never lose perspective of who you are and how lucky you are, I think you tend to be all right.
And your kids?
My kids are they criticize everything I do.
Yeah.
Right? So they're
Welcome
going to
to
give
the
me
club.
notes on
Eva,
this
wait,
right now.
just wait.
Yeah. No, it's
true, right?
It's crazy, but I don't care. I don't care.
I don't care.
I put my clothes on the way I want to, and they're going to tell me it's wrong, and I can't wear this, and I don't care. I'm the father.
That's right.
You're the son.
You can
Sit down.
use my
Go to
line.
bed.
Remember, I taught you how to use a spoon. Sit down.
That's exactly right. That's
it.
exactly right.
Good.
So it's okay for me not to be cool in the eyes of my kids. That's fine. That's all right.
I'm still in the butt wiping phase. So.
Oh, wow. You have a long way to go.
Eva?
Yeah.
It's the reality of a toddler.
We just got out of that phase.
And before we go, what's next for you?
What's next? We're going to do some traveling this summer. Go to Europe. My son is a big basketball player. He's playing for the German national team, so we're going to go over there and he's going to play some tournaments. I'm going to Africa. We've been spending a lot of time in Africa doing a bunch of fun things.
That's a lot of fun things. And speaking of fun things, we got something for you, just for you.
For me?
Being back on the show. Yeah, a little bling bling. You know, this is how we do it on GMA3.
Oh, wow.
Such a good friend to the show.
Thank you so much.
Set up.
Look at that. This is bling bling.
Show your kids that one.
Look at that.
Appreciate you, man, for coming on.
Wow.
By the way, Station 19 airs tomorrow at 10 p.m. on ABC and streams the next day on Hulu. And the series finale airs next Thursday, May 13th. So make sure you are tuned in. And that's what you need to know. I'm DeMarco Morgan.
And I'm Dr. Jen Ashton.
And I'm Eva Pilgrim. For all of us here at ABC News and Boris, make it a great
That's
one.
right. Wow. Bling bling. Thank you. This is wonderful.
Married moms in the suburbs. They've been called soccer moms. They've been called security moms.
Pamela Wilk is a so-called soccer mom.
Those so-called Walmart moms.
She calls herself a hockey mom. I love those hockey moms.
The hockey mom trying to connect with the soccer moms.
In the 1990s, the idea of soccer moms as the quintessential swing voter took hold. Elections could be won or lost based on a candidate's ability to appeal to them. But were quote-unquote soccer moms actually the deciding factor? In a new series on the 538 Politics podcast, we take a look back at conventional wisdom from past elections with a critical lens. Where did that wisdom come from, and does it hold up today? Find the Campaign Throwback series in the 538 Politics feed wherever you get your podcasts.